Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Southampton 0. That means 3 points. That means Wolves win a game of football. How are you feeling, Bebe?
Yeah, it's been a long time since we can say this, hasn't it? A second Premier League win in 21 Premier League games.
Positive,
a first, look, dangerous day, mate, look, come on. A first clean sheet in 23.
Yeah, I love that. Always happening.
And it feels good.
It just feels good.
Thank God look, it's not going to be the performance that's going to blow you away.
Wasn't a great game of football.
It wasn't a great game to watch. It was poor. It was always going to be a little bit boring because of the way Southampton play.
Sure.
Southampton are fantastic at keeping the ball. Luckily for Wolves, Southampton, and with all due respect, have got very little substance at the end of that possession.
They've got zero quality.
They've got no quality going forward.
No.
They don't. They created next to nothing, bar the VAR decision, which we will come to. They created next to nothing, and that suited Wolves. Wolves created chances. They scored 2 good goals. They needed a little bit of luck, a little bit of quality from certain individuals, but it's a massive win, and it's a win that eases pressure on Gary. It's a result that gets this fan base something to cheer about, gives them a little bit of unity at the end,
moves them up the table,
and moves them in the right direction.
Yeah,
they need to have a lot more to add to this, but it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely, and it's a small step because there is still a lot of issues to cover, and that's, they're going to have to play a lot better than that in the upcoming few games if they are going to get points, 100%. But let's rewind back to the start of the game. We saw the team sheet. A lot of people aghast at seeing Pablo Sarabia. We were quite shocked to see Pablo Sarabia in the starting lineup after the Crystal Palace, but that's what Gary O'Neill has paid to make the big decisions, and he didn't shy away from it. And look, instant gratitude, instant just payback, because 1-0 up in 2 minutes. That's just the start this team needed.
Yeah, you tweeted after the goal that it was a ballsy decision from Gary O'Neill to play Pablo Sarabia, and that sums it up pretty well. Absolutely no concern on my part to admit that before this game I thought, what on earth is that team decision to play Pablo Sarabia?
I mean, it was brutal. He was brutal.
He was brutal last week. I mean, you wouldn't know. You were swollen off on holiday as usual, but
trying to burn some calories running lad.
He was bad last week. He really was. And regardless of the result today, I would have stood here and said the decision to start Pablo Sarabia, in my opinion, was a crazy decision.
Yeah.
And then in 2 minutes, it's justified pretty quickly. Now, did Pablo Sarabia have a great rest of the half? No, not really.
And then came off.
And then came off at half time. He did have a little bit of a knock during the half, so we're going to speak to Gary and find out whether that's a knock or a tactical decision to take him off. But it looks like it may have been a knock. But he wasn't great the rest of the half. But what he does do is he offers technical ability, intelligence, positioning, and quality in the final third when he's when he gets in those positions and receives the ball. He makes a fantastic run. Cunha does brilliantly with the run in the initial instance. Makes a fantastic run in the box. One touch round Ramsdale, and that's his quality. I didn't think it was the right decision to play him, and it was justified very, very quickly. It was a great goal, and it got Wolves the perfect start.
Yeah, look, but in a make or break game, which a lot of people thought this was for Gary O'Neill, you have to win this game. You go with your experienced guys. You look at Carlos Forbes, you look at people like even Bellegarde who came on in the second half. These are the people who haven't really made an impression, so you go with your tried and tested, you go with the experience, and yes, he wasn't great for the rest of the half, but he scored that very important goal, calmed things down a little bit. You go into half time, Bellegarde comes on, there was some sort of guy who came on the pitch, imposter, never seen him before, Ruben Neves. But let's be honest, like you say, not a great game of football, but a great goal. And Matheus Cunha is the most important person in this squad currently, because without Matheus Cunha, Wolves, I would fear for Wolves' future, and it's so important to keep this guy fit because he is quality. Whether you're losing, whether you're drawing, whether you're winning games, he is often the best player on the pitch, most likely the best player on the pitch. And that, a stunning goal outside the box. I said shoot, I said go for goal, I said go for goal, I said this is just your range. But to score a goal like that, what is this?
They put the news goal for us. That's great. Great timing.
They're all over the shop this lot. To score. What are you doing? It's finished. We're finished. What are you doing? I can't believe it. The guy's partying. We've got to go louder.
Wow. You couldn't be louder if you tried.
To score a goal like that.
What?
Look, Mikey Bowen is fuming. He's fuming. Look at him down there.
Great song.
Oh. Who sings this? To score a goal like that in front of the South Bank, outside the box, in front of Ruben Neves, in front of Ruben. Like the work experience about the VAR goal that went for Wolves for once?
Yeah, I think Wolves have earned a little bit of luck when it comes to VAR. In my opinion, they've got a little bit of luck. Semedo is very clever the way he steps across Fernandes. Very, very clever to allow Fernandes to. Oh, there we go. To allow Fernandes to initiate the contact. Very, very clever from Semedo. But I do think, if I'm honest, Wolves may have got away with one. If the on-field decision is no goal, I can understand it. The reasoning's there. To re-referee the game, have it as a goal on field, and then retract it, I think is unfair on Southampton. And if that was a Wolves goal, we'd be absolutely furious. So I have to be fair. But Wolves have earned a little bit of luck. They got it, and they used it to their advantage. Fortunately, on this occasion.
Look, a clean sheet as well, which is very important to this team. They're going to need some clean sheets.
It's a great song. I'm glad it's stopped now. My voice is going hoarse. Yeah, clean sheets has been a massive issue, hasn't it? Set pieces. They looked a little nervy from a couple of set pieces today, but luckily didn't concede. And that's going to be really, really important going forward because. Look, hypothetically, had Wolves lost this game, had Wolves made the decision to relieve Gary O'Neill of his duties, whoever was replacing him, their first job would have been make us harder to beat, tighter at the back.
100%.
Going forward's not the issue. Wolves are scoring goals. Defensively, they've conceded far too many. They conceded 27 in 10 for today, now 27 in 11 Premier League games, and that has to be improved upon. So it was, again, a step in the right direction for performance, but to get that clean sheet would be really important for those individuals at the back as well. And I thought they all had a good game. Dawson had a good game, Semedo much better. Aït-Nouri, a little odd at the moment. He's given the ball away a lot, but he does offer a threat. I thought Totti was very good as well. So definitely a step in the right direction.
Gary O'Neill there in front of the South Bank, giving it three fists. Look, I mean, the fan base is split. I think you could quite easily say that. You might think maybe people favour Gary O'Neill out rather than Gary O'Neill. You might think that maybe tip the balance slightly. But it just shows that that was a big result. It was a big result for the team. It was a big result for Gary O'Neill. It's still broken to a certain extent. They still need a lot of work, I think. I think everybody knows that. But at the same time, do you feel like he's bought himself more time? Or do you think that he hasn't got any time left?
No, I think he has to have bought more time.
And is it a case of buying time, or is it a case of
just to some degree? To some degree, yeah. Because I think you can only go so long without winning games. The performances have been okay in spells.
I think there's been better performances than what we've seen today.
I agree with that. 100% agree with that. But at this point, it was all about results, and they had to get that result. So I think it does, and it gives them a platform to build from. Gary O'Neill's going to need to use that wisely, and they've got a really good run of fixtures. Look, there's no guaranteed win in any Premier League game, but with the run of fixtures they've got up until Boxing Day when they've got United here, it's a really favourable run where they should be putting some more results together. Results for at least the foreseeable will be far more important than performances. Eventually you've got to try and marry the two together, but just get results. After today you've got to go on and build from that.
Yeah, Fulham, Bournemouth I believe.
Yeah, Everton away, then West Ham away, Ipswich here, then Leicester away, and that takes you into Boxing
You want to
Day.
be getting at least 2 to 3 wins in those games, don't you really? Whether you're going away from home or not.
I think so, yeah. Ipswich here has to be a massive one. Leicester away the week after has to be as well. Bournemouth here as well at the end of November will be.
This is one more for the podcast and for the Keen and Judah show next week. But in terms of the future of Gary O'Neill, do you feel that it's very short term? Are we going game to game here? Or do you think that the hierarchy looking longer term, it's not about that? Or is it all about circumstance?
I think circumstances will play a big part. I mean, if you go away to Fulham, for example, and get thumped and play really poorly, then maybe a decision to make. But I do think
I think he has got the backing.
I think he has. Look, they're reluctant to let this manager go. I think they appreciate what he offers. There'll be plenty on social media that will argue against that. There was a specific game plan today that wasn't exciting. It wasn't enthralling. It wasn't going to get people off their seats. But it was a game plan that Wolves sort of had to play to get a result. With the way that Southampton look after the ball, if you press too aggressively in the middle third of that pitch, Southampton will play through you and open you up. Equally, Wolves were a little bit too passive in the final third, probably in Wolves' defensive third, that is. But they had a specific game plan, they got through it. I think if the players listen to the game plans, that it's proof. Man City here was proof, albeit the last goal, last minute winner for City, is proof that if you follow the game plan, you can get results with this manager. I think the board are backing what he offers. But you have to get results. So this is a great step, but you have to continue. 2 very quick points. Sam Johnson was on the bench today, despite the team sheet that we saw. So it was the first time that Sam Johnson and Jose Sarr, a fit Sam Johnston, which
was meant that he's lost his place in this side. And you'd have thought that Jose Sarr, I'd expect Jose Sarr to be in goal for Fulham away.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big blow for him.
It's Jose Sarr's shirt, and it's up to him whether he keeps it or loses it, and whether Johnson can nick it back off him. A slight error from Wolves in tweeting out the teams, which they quickly deleted within about sort of 5 minutes or so, and put out the right team, and it had Bentley on the bench rather than Johnson. It was Johnson on the bench. Our video and all our tweets, everything had Bentley on the bench, because at that moment we didn't realise. But it was Johnson on the bench. He's back, he's fit, he's available, and he's not playing.
And he's second choice.
It's second choice. He'll be disappointed with that. Wolves be disappointed in general to have made a 10 million acquisition and him to lose it so quickly. But it's up to him to battle and get back into the.
Well, you've got to go with the best 11 that's going to get you a win, and that will be the case going forward from game to game. Gary Neal's always said that. And finally, for me, January, Ruben Neves back.
I'll tell you what.
No sentiment. We might as well send some more sentiment.
Yeah. Well, no, I have a whole team full of them. He's on crutches at the moment after knee surgery.
Yeah,
but
we're still walks into this side.
I knew you were going to say. I'll set you up for it perfectly. But I'll tell you what, you take him back.
Of course you do.
Fantastic player.
He's a good-looking lad as well.
Thank you.
Wolves 2, Southampton 0. For the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstart.com, because it's the first time this season. And Mikey's live, so you can't interrupt them. Come!